Hi everyone, time for another tour. It's March 1st, 2017. I'm down here in the basement and a lot's happened down here. I'm currently in the old bathroom, as you can see. And what we've been doing is casting piers. There's one of them. These are the piers that we are going to use to hold up the steel when the steel beams come in shortly. There's another one. There's another one. And these piers are concrete. They lean up against the old foundation, so they tend to hold up the foundation. But also on the top of each pier is a steel plate on which rests an I-beam that will span across the short section of the room here. So that pier there and this pier here will get a single I-beam. This pier here and that pier there, we get another I-beam. The pier with the ladder leaning up against it. And of course the one in the corner gets an I-beam that spans over to that one in the corner. And on top of each pier is a plate that the I-beams get welded to. That plate has anchor bolts down into the concrete. In addition, each pier has down below these steel wings that are cast all the way through the concrete pier, that if somebody wanted to at some later date put a triangulated piece of steel from the bottom of one pier up to the I-beam of the next pier to make an X-brace, we could easily do that. So the entire cellar now is filled with these piers. They just poured the concrete today, and believe it or not, each one of these piers was filled by hand with buckets. Hundreds of buckets of concrete coming in today. So they'll be ready for steel in a couple of days, and I'll show when that comes in. Now the rest of the house, there's no steel work in the rest of the house, but up into the kitchen, there's been a lot of work in the floors. So now these are the warm boards for the flooring. And there are special, there's a subfloor, and then this flooring has, this green stuff is actually aluminum, and it has these grooves cut in it in which tubing gets run. The tubing carries hot water from a central furnace and in zones, so you can heat separate rooms with separate temperatures. That's the kitchen, obviously. Here's the back room, which is the area with the idea of having a bathroom back there. That's what the patches are, is where the sink and the toilet and the shower would go. So there's no heat underneath each of those. And then at a juncture where all the pipes were, you remember there was a groove in the floor that went all the way along the entire length of the house. That now has a cover over it, and there's patches that all flip out of there, hatches that we can use to access the plumbing, so that we can fix the plumbing without having to tear the house apart. This is the old dining room. And we're not going to do it right away, but this flooring itself will also be throughout that part of the house as soon as the bridge decking goes on and we cast the concrete for the floor there. And pipes will be run, and then right on top of this goes the wood floors back to the cherry wood floors, so it'll be very similar to the way it was when we started. So that's the progress so far. And in a day or two we'll be doing steel, and I'll have another video for that. Okay? See you then!